All right, everyone, welcome back. We're gonna be briefly, because I've already kind of made a video about this before. We're gonna be talking about arc guns, and I've talked about how to getting the arc gun deployer, which I will link that video in the description down below, which is kind of required to really make arc guns shine outside of the few missions that you're able to use your Archwing in, which is mainly Railjack and some of the other ones. So, basics though. You can buy art guns everywhere. You can get a couple art guns, as we learned in my previous video, from Kuvaliches. Don't you think you can get them from other people? But the interesting, the limiter here for you being able to use your art guns in regular missions is twofold. One, you have to have this thing, a Gravimag, installed into your gun. It also apparently doubles the mod capacity. Didn't know that. I thought regular catalysts did that. So maybe you have to do both. I'm not sure. I could check with one of my regular weapons. Anyway, they follow a very similar path though in modding to as we've seen in all of our other weapons, with a damage mod, a multi-shot mod, a crit, and a crit chance mod. Like that's 100% the model that most things follow. Um, like obviously status, put more status in instead. There's range that can be added, not so much useful for a projectile gun, but something like the Larkspur, which is a essentially an electro gun, really useful for. There's fire rate, there's more multi-shot. Yeah, you can do it with basic things. Yeah, I'm not gonna like really break down a big cover on how to build these out. It follows the same exact path as our other ones. We get our dual rounds, our Rubedo-Lined Barrel. There's also not as many mods for brain for arc guns. In comparison to like all of our other things that have seemingly more. Okay, this is where we just type in critical focus. No, hollow bolts. Here we go. So same setup. This is with the regular mods, and then obviously you can do other things. And they've also come up with arc gun adapters. I have yet to mess with those, so I don't know. And apparently you can get two. I'm gonna need to explore that because again, I have no idea. I'm betting it works exactly though, like the adapters for any other weapon, really. Anyway, so modding, same plan though. Damage, multi-shot, crit damage, crit chance, finesse with elemental damage, and that works well with most of the guns. You might have something slightly different if you're using a gun like the Larkspur, where you care about range, or you have a range on it, and it's mostly a status weapon. I apparently have not done a lot with my regular Larkspur. Did I do more with my Larkspur Prime? I'm gonna bet no, because I don't use the Larkspur a lot. This is the problem when you don't use a weapon a lot. Oh, I did do more. Sweet. An alternate fire seat, and we have a longer beam range. Nice. But so I don't have any of the crit damage or anything like that. I've got the range mod though, and then I have a bunch of multi-shot and just elemental damage that I've just stacked up here. So that's kind of the different ways to approach this. Rubedo Barrel though, and dual rounds, or the regular versions of those, are going to be pretty key for building with arc guns. So, like I mentioned, the first part is you got to have the Graphimag in them. Some weapons, it seems, and double check on the wiki, obviously, come pre-equipped with a Graphimag. I would say the Cortege, the Morga, and the Mausolon are the three that I'm thinking that come pre-equipped with one. The Mausolon comes pre-equipped with one. It comes from getting your Necromech, and then the Morga and the Cortege are both buildable art guns from Deimos. So I think those are the only 3 that possibly come pre-equipped with a Gravimag, unless something says one. I think if you buy the Larkspur from the shop instead of building it with plat, I think it comes pre-equipped with a Gravimag, which the shop should tell you if it does that. Anyways, so you have to get a Gravimag. The other part goes back to that video that I made, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 months ago, where I think it's titled like getting the Archgun deployer so you have more options, something like that. It'll be linked in the description. You have to get the Archgun deployer, which goes in your gear wheel, and it looks like, I don't know, where is it? There it is. It looks like that when you put it in. And that requires doing the phase 3 of the Profit Taker heist, which requires you to have max standing with Solaris United, which I think I ran the math. It's something like 250,000 focus. So if we go back to our model of MR5 doing this, you start off with the ability to get 1,500 standing per day, and you get 500 extra standing for each level. So in MR5, you should be able to get 17,500 standing a day. Just means that it's going to take you a couple of weeks playing out in Fortuna bounties or doing Fortuna fishing, Fortuna wildlife catches. I recommend the wildlife catches. You can get some insane amounts of standing in just 5 or 10 minutes. It's really not hard to do that. And bounties might not be your thing. Again, bounties are not everyone's thing. But anyway, so it might take a couple of weeks for you to get to that standing, and then you might have to get a party of people to go do it. There's also a build for something to run that mission. It's a decent video. I'm not gonna say it's good. It's decent. I am still an idiot with 2 brain cells trying to rub it together. So at least that hasn't changed. But yeah, so that's Archguns in a nutshell. Kind of the build, the acquiring of it, and kind of just picking back on what I've already done. And yeah, just being able to, like, I'm sure there's a group of people who are like, relying on an Archgun in mission is cheating, you know? You should be able to do it with your regular weapons. If you have the option to bring down a space cannon meant for melting spaceships and use them on puny little enemies, this is a power fantasy. Do it. I will laugh right alongside you as you do it because it's hilarious. There's nothing funnier than a little itty bitty wisp carrying a gigantic cannon around and trying to run with it. It's hilarious. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful. And yeah, thank you for watching. And everyone just have a fantastic and wonderful day. Thanks.